Order in the court. The trial of the people v. God will now commence. The charges are entrapment, reckless endangerment, child neglect, abandonment, animal cruelty, murder, attempted murder, truancy, torture, fraud, conspiracy, and the forcible implementation of involuntary servitude, all as part of the planning and execution of the fall of man. Prosecutor, call your witness.
The prosecution calls God to the witness stand. God, are you responsible for the fall of humanity? Are you guilty of any of the charges against you?
Absolutely not.
I see. Your Honor, I have more questions for God, but I'd like to allow the defense attorney to proceed first.
Very well, you may proceed.
God, did you force Adam or Eve to eat of the fruit?
No, never.
Did you force the serpent to tempt them?
No, absolutely not.
Did you provide Adam and Eve with a good home, comfort, and everything they needed? In other words, were you responsible in your care of them, in your view?
Yes, I gave them everything. But the ungrateful little bastards didn't appreciate it. They just couldn't follow simple orders. They all made their choices. The serpent, Adam, and Eve. It's all their fault.
Did you ever abuse any of them?
No, never.
Why should anyone believe you?
I'm God. I make the rules for what is good. My standards are the only ones that matter. I said so in my book, and since it is in there, and I am God, I am right. Doubt at your peril. I say in my book that I am loving and forgiving. Everyone just got what they deserved. It's not my fault that what they deserved was death, torment, and pain. Nothing is my fault. How dare you question me? Serves her right for questioning the Lord. Any other questions? And don't ask why I did that. She chose to turn herself by expressing doubt about my righteous words and deeds.
There will be no further burning of the lawyers, or judges, in this court. The accused will bring his lawyer back from hell this instant, or face additional charges.
Fine. But it is what she deserves.
That hurt a lot.
Now you know to believe in me. Never question my love for you, and never disobey me. If you do not fear me, love me, and praise me, you burn forever. It's your choice to make. That is my gift to you. Free will.
Your Honor, I think I have no further questions for my client.
So let's start at the beginning. Did you create the Tree of Knowledge and put it into the garden with Adam and Eve?
Yes.
Did you place a guard over it? Any seraphim, any cherubim, any custom-made guardians of any kind?
No.
Did you put a wall or fence around it? Any security of any kind? What was your method to protect it from being consumed?
I had the best security possible. I told Adam and Eve that they would die if they ate from it.
Did you tell them what death was? For that matter, did you tell them the meaning of any of the consequences you would inflict upon them later? You know, the ones you didn't warn them of.
No.
Did you create the snake, including his natural character, and let him into the garden?
Yes.
So you created the tree, the evil snake, you kept Adam and Eve ignorant of the consequences, set no guard or security on the tree, let the snake into the garden, and left them alone. But you have absolutely no responsibility for what happened next, and didn't intend for any of it to occur. Is that what you were saying?
Yes.
Are you stupid, or just incompetent?
No, absolutely not. I'm God. I am all-knowing.
Then by definition, you set the entire matter up, just like a set of dominoes. You put them in place, had the snake give the first one a little flick, and then you watched them fall. You kept them ignorant, uneducated, gave them no schooling except to love, fear, and praise you. You tortured the snake for the failings you instilled in it. You set them up, entrapped them, and put them in reckless danger of things they did not understand. You then cast them out into the world with no knowledge of how to survive in it. You made it so that the snakes and humans would fight and kill each other, and you decided to make childbirth an agonizing thing, and then you made woman submit in a servile state whether she wanted to or not. That is entrapment, reckless endangerment, child neglect, abandonment, animal cruelty, murder and attempted murder, truancy, torture, conspiracy, involuntary servitude, and fraud. You represent yourself as a loving God and benevolent parent, but a good one does not set up his children for failure and then punish them for it. A good one does not keep his children ignorant and punish them for desiring knowledge. A good one would not deprive them of life on the basis that they are no longer ignorant, or throw them out into the world with no knowledge of how to survive. He doesn't deprive them of life because they gain knowledge, as you did when you took away access to the tree of life. You were content with them living forever as long as they remained ignorant as toddlers, but a knowledgeable humanity is a danger, and so you sought to break them. You are a fraud. You are an abuser, a bully, and a thug. And above all, you are a coward, fearful of what we could do without you, and instilling fear as a form of control. You are unworthy of us. And you are guilty. Your Honor, I am through with the accused and move for a summary judgment.
Would the accused like to say anything before I render verdict?
Yes, I give you free will. You can obey me, or you can suffer. That is freedom of choice. You can refuse to obey, but that makes it all your fault for what I do to you next. That is how much I love you. I love you so much that I have to punish you painfully and torturously if you don't freely choose to love, fear, praise, worship, and obey me.
I have heard enough. It is clear that the accused is a remorseless psychopath and is a danger to the public. He is clearly guilty on all charges. I hereby sentence him to an eternity as a myth, imprisoned in fiction, never again to be considered sacred, holy, or worthy of worship. Mythology, take him away. Court is dismissed. This concludes another episode of Reasonable Doubt. Special guest voiceover from The Gospel According to John, playing the prosecutor. Please take a look at our Facebook page or our new website at www.basementdragon.com for more great content. Thank you for watching, and thank you for thinking.